Hey everybody, Ray here. I made a window seat that I thought would double as a toy box. But as you'll see at the end of the video, it didn't quite work out that it was going to be a toy box. If you'd like to make something like this, stick around, I'll show you how to do it. And if you like this video, don't forget, hit that like button and subscribe. One of the things I like about do-it-yourself projects is you can make them any size you want. So we're going to be making a toy box, but it's not going to be a traditional toy box that might be 30 or 36 inches wide and maybe 18 inches deep. Ours is going to be covering the entire front of a double window. And I don't want it as deep as that, so I'm going to make mine 78 inches wide and about 12 inches deep. It's going to be a different looking toy box, but I think it's going to work out really great in the space that I'm thinking about for it. This is going to be sort of a farmhouse style, if you will, toy box. And so the first thing I need to do is to make the corners for the toy box. And to do that, what I'm going to do is take these 1x3s, and then I'll set one like this on the other, and then these will make my corners. So the first thing I'm going to do is I need to cut 4 corners, so I need 8 boards for those corners that will be 17 inches high. I've measured my 17 inches and I've set my stop block. Now I can do all 8 cuts, but I've only had to measure this one time. These stop blocks are just invaluable. I'll make the rest of these cuts and I'll bring you back. I've cut our 8 corners using the 2 1x3 boards, and now we're going to join them together like this. That's how we'll make our corners. I'm going to do that with Kreg screws and pocket holes. We'll put pocket holes in 4 of our boards, and then we'll come back and screw those into the other 4. I'll just put 1 pocket hole on each side, and that really should be sufficient. Okay, a few more boards to go and I'll bring you back. So when I put the corners together, here are my pocket screws here, and I've run glue along the edge. And I'll flip this up on this board, line it up, clamp it, and put my screws in. So we have all 4 of our corners made. And now we'll let this glue dry just for a little bit. And while we're doing that, we're going to start cutting some of our other boards for the toy box. So the front and the back boards will fit into the corners we made like this. This will give us about 14 and a half inches of depth. And it will leave me a little piece of the leg down here to keep the toy box off of the floor. So we've got a 1x4, a 1x6, and a 1x6. So I've pre-drilled the boards that I want to attach to the corner. And then what I've done is I'm putting 2 screws in each one of the boards, 2 wood screws. These are 1.25" wood screws. And that should be more than secure. In the corner where the legs will be on the floor, I just cut a little block that I'll glue in here, and it'll give the leg a little bit more surface to sit on the floor, and I can put a nice pad on there and not worry about scratching the wood floor. So now it's time to connect our side pieces to the corner. So I will connect each side. I've got an inch of space to work with here. So what I've done is to mark a line a half an inch in from the end of this board. So I'll take all my side boards, I'll mark a half inch in on each side, and then I'm going to drill 2 holes for wood screws. Now when I put my side boards in here, I want to make sure that this first board is right up flush on the edge with the other board, which is the front board. So here's the side board, this is the front board. I want to make sure that my ends are perfectly flush here. Once I've got them flush, then I'll just put a clamp on there real quick. Once that clamp is on there and it's flush, I don't have to worry about that moving around when I put the screws in. Okay, that stayed nice and flush. So we'll put our second screw in here, we'll put our other 2 boards up, we'll screw them in, and I'll show you what it looks like. So you'll notice on this board there are 3 holes. 1, 2, 3 holes, and I said I only wanted to put 2. Well, I got a little bit lazy, and I just tried to hold this with my hand, and when I put that first screw in there, it didn't snug up and it left a gap. So now I've come back and put a clamp on there, like I should have done in the first place. Let that be a lesson to you. Don't get lazy. So my first side or end piece is on the toy box here. One of the reasons I'm using screws in this project is because I'm going to actually have to take this apart to take it up to my granddaughter in Wisconsin. So I need to be able to take it apart after I put it together and make sure everything is the way I want it. So all I'll do is I will simply number this 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. So that's all on the inside of the box. Nobody's going to see these marks, but I'll know that these have to line up with each other, and these are the boards that fit on these boards. We flipped the box over on its other side. Not a lot of room to work in here, but for my next trick, I'll show you how to put the screw in inside the box. All right, so we have the shell of our box made, and it's one long box. Like I said, it's 77 inches, 77 and a half inches, and it's so long it won't fit on my workbench. I've got to support it on a couple of blocks there. The next step, what I'll do is I'm going to put one more support in the middle here, which will serve 2 purposes. It'll give it some support in the center, and then also these boards aren't exactly flush. So when I put that in there, I'll screw it from the back, and these boards will all be then nice and even. So I found the center of the toy box here. So that's that line right there. Found the center of my board, so I could line my board up with the center that way. And then I just quickly made a couple of marks down each side. So that's where I know my board is going to be. So I can drill 2 holes in each one of these boards to attach this board, and I know exactly where I want to drill the holes. All right, now we're going to get to the part that I think is the most enjoyable, and that's trimming this out to make it look a little bit nicer. We're just going to take a 1x3, which is the same size as this board, and we're going to run a 1x3 here and a 1x3 down here, and it'll box that in both sides. It'll look really nice. So this measures 34 1/4 between these 2 1x3s. Generally what I'll do is, if it's 34 1/4, I will make my initial cut about a 1/16 of an inch larger And then I'll just come back and shave it down. And if you do it right, then it should fit in there perfectly. And you don't even need any nails to hold it right away. I mean, it'll stay put. So that's a perfect cut right there. So we've done these two boards. We're going to do those two. And then I'm going to glue and just brad nail these on. So you can compare the look of this side that's just the plain wood and this side that we faced out by the 1x3 trim. This just adds so much more depth and it's so easy to do. Since the box is so long, I decided to break my top up into 3 separate tops. My little 4-year-old granddaughter will be going in and out of this thing, and I just don't want the tops to be too heavy. So each of these are 25 and 3/4 inch long. I needed 15 inches wide, so I had 3 1x6s, which of course are 5.5 inches wide, so I had to rip one of my 1x6s down to 4 inches. We'll bring those together like that. We will clamp them to hold them tight, and then I'll put 2 boards on each one like that with screws to hold them together. So this is the back of the box or bench, and the door will open this way. So the hinge will go here on the outside. Because it's inset here, what I'll have to do is add a block where I don't have a place for the hinge. So I'll add a block to each one of these, and I'll do the same thing down here so I've got something to attach the hinge to. In the bottom of the box, I just wanted to lay in 1/4 inch pressed wood paneling. So I had to make sure that the support was there. So I put 5 supports across the bottom of the box. Those supports were added using pocket screws in the underneath side. My bottom fits perfectly and it's very well supported. I put hinges on the tops and construction was complete. Well, as you can see, our box is complete. Didn't quite turn out that it was going to be a toy box. My son-in-law decided it would be a great place to store his albums, and my daughter decided it'd be a great place to store her exercise equipment. But that's okay. I hope this video was helpful to you. It's a great little dual-purpose piece of furniture. If you like this video, don't forget, hit that like button and subscribe. And as always, thanks for watching.